gives me an opportunity to come and talk about a different set of issues. So today we've got a number of our road safety partners here. We're here to focus our attention on keeping kids safe. You know, I think this is one of the things that the whole issue of seat belts, buckling up, it's something we all know, but it's one of those things we need to be reminded of. So having the school principal, Michael Walkington, the trustee, Jerry Gershon, all of the staff, having the police officers here, all of the folks who are involved in keeping our kids safe, it's an important message that we bring as a community. We know that parents and caregivers are busier than they've ever been. They're rushing to get kids to school, to sports events, to social activities. It's a very, very fast-paced world, but we all have to remember to take a few minutes before we jump in the car, as we jump in the car, to make sure that kids are safely buckled in. And that's what this annual cause of death and injury among kids and youth. And so that's a fact that we have to remember. We haven't solved this problem. As parents and caregivers, we owe it to our kids to do everything we can to keep them safe and secure. And you know, that's why I'm here with my colleague, Minister Margaret Best, who's the Minister, Minister Margaret Best, who is the Minister of Health Promotion, because her job is about keeping us all healthy, keeping us all safe. Our safety partners are here to remind us of the importance of wearing seat belts and how to use a child car seat and booster seat properly. Now, just over 30 years ago, Ontario was the first province to make wearing seat belts mandatory. So I was just telling the high school students from Leaside here that means that I was 27 before it was the law to wear a seat belt in Ontario. So my whole childhood and youth, my parents got in the car. Not only did they get in the car and we didn't do up seatbelts, they got in the car and smoked. So, you know, smoking and seatbelts, the whole cultural shift that's happened around those two things, I think, is remarkable. But my whole childhood and youth, there weren't seatbelts used in the cars.
So Wynne said before, it's not just about the seat belts and booster seats, but also about not smoking in cars with the children and just not smoking at all. That's the better thing to do. And so behaviors and attitudes developed in childhood, we all know, last a lifetime, and that's what we want to do as a government. We want to raise awareness about the importance of healthy habits and to teach our children early to make health decisions like buckling up, and hopefully to develop a culture of people who thinks in terms of health and safety first. And as parents or caregivers, we need to ensure our loved ones are properly secured in their appropriate child safety seats and in their seat belts. Buckle up will help reduce preventable injuries. Our goal is to provide Ontarians with information and to raise awareness to impact Ontarians positively and in their ability to lead safe, healthy, active lives, and to ensure our communities are healthy, prosperous places to live, work, and play. And I certainly think it's appropriate for us to be at a school today and so close to the playground, because I want to take this opportunity to say to you as well that you should get active and you should eat healthy and don't smoke and buckle up and arrive safely and arrive alive. Thank you and have a good afternoon.
We in the OPP and other road safety partners are particularly proud of. We're down again. Unfortunately, and there's always the but, 11 people have lost their lives not wearing seatbelts across the province. And those are 11 lives that can be saved by simply putting on a seatbelt or wearing the proper child restraint. And that's really the message that we're here to deliver today. We want to make sure that that 11 doesn't change. We don't want to see anyone else losing their lives on our highways. In particular, this particular campaign is focusing on child car seats, on our children, our most valuable resource, and obviously we're here in a venue, and my compliments to the venue. This is probably the nicest day and nicest venue we've had for this event since I've been doing it. But we're focusing on those vulnerable road users who rely on the drivers of those vehicles to make sure they're properly buckled up and they're properly in the booster seats. The drivers that have children in the car have an extra responsibility of not just looking after themselves, but looking after their passengers.
Priority of the Toronto Police Service, and one that is held in high regard by all our members. As we know, the totality of all crimes combined do not equal the damage and impact that is felt throughout all of society from the consequences of failing to adhere to the ideals of traffic safety. The injuries and deaths that are attributed to traffic collisions are felt throughout our healthcare system, the judicial system, and influences the cost of transportation, including that of goods and services. In this day and age of advanced technology and smart vehicles, the most effective way to minimize the impact and the consequences of those events is through a simple and effective use of a 50-year-old technology, that being a seatbelt. Since the mandatory use of seatbelts was instituted in Ontario, fatalities and injuries that would surely have occurred have been steadily decreasing. It is estimated with each 1% increase in compliance, 5 lives are saved across the province. But still, one of the most troubling numbers is those that come out of the child seat inspection clinics. We have found numbers as high as 80 and 90%, which reflects incorrect installations, which are all too common. Unfortunately, people will spend more time studying the use of the camera that they bought to record the birth of their new child than they will spend studying the manual for the car seat that they will use to transport their loved one home. It is the goal of the Toronto Police Service, as we proudly join all our services across the province in this joint education, awareness, and when necessary, enforcement campaign to help prevent injuries and save lives by ensuring that all vehicle occupants are properly restrained. Remember, click it or ticket. It's in your hands to make the right decision. Thank you.
Bessborough Drive Elementary Middle School today, alongside the esteemed Ministers of Transportation and Health Promotion, and of course the OPP, the police and fire departments, and our other vital road safety partners. It's particularly wonderful to see the high school students here in attendance, as they're an important reminder as to why we're here today, and why car seat, booster seat, and seatbelt safety is important every day and for every trip. Parents who consistently incorporate the concept of safety while raising their children by modeling safe behavior, discussing and using opportunities for teaching, give their children a lifelong gift. Ingrained safety habits save lives. We certainly recognize that using child car seats, booster seats, and seatbelts saves lives. We know parents want to protect their children from harm, and we want to do all we can to transform that passion into concrete action.
Okay. Sergeant Tim Burrows coming from Bessborough Elementary and Middle School in East York, Ontario, and I've got a message for all of you parents, everybody that's driving a car. You ready? 1, 2, 3.